Hey everyone, welcome to a very different sort of video. Today, I want to dive into one of Britain's most lovable TV shows, Sooty. As lovable and iconic as he is within British children's television, I want to talk about the time the show had entered a downward spiral. This is the downfall of Sooty. Now, if you're new here and have no idea who Sooty is, then let me give you a little history lesson. Sooty is a children's TV show that consists of a yellow bear called, Sooty, Sweet the lovable dog, Sue the friendly panda, and little cousin Scampy the ever so troublesome bear, and his long history of presenters. The show started out in the 60s and was presented by a man called Harry Corbett OBE, who discovered the bear whilst on holiday with his children in Blackpool. ITV agreed to do a TV show around Sooty and his pals, and it soon became a household success. However, when Harry's health started slowly deteriorating, his son, Matthew Corbett, took over the reins and presented all the way to the late 90s, with Sooty and Co being his last run as presenter. As of 2020, both he and his wife now reside in a retirement village in West Sussex. Since then, Richard Cadells has been the main man in charge and actually first appeared in the show all the way back in the 80s, when he was just 18 years old, and has kept it in safe hands ever since, under the name of Cadells Limited, which is run by him and his brother, who have owned the Sooty franchise since 2008. Personally, the era I enjoy the most is Sooty and Co, as not only was it based around Manchester, but the fact that it was the first time that the show wasn't based in a house, but based in a shop that sold odds and sods. Furthermore, you could really tell that they wanted to do as much as they could with the show, as they went further location-wise than they have ever been before. Wales, Ireland, and even Spain. I think as well that this show was also the best at representing each character's strengths and weaknesses as well, which is something I admire greatly. For example, Sue is very level-headed and pretty much in charge of the boys, but we also see that she is rather sensitive.
Oh, it's your Squaffy! It's Sue's Squaffy! They've taken her Squaffy!
Yes, they have, but there's no need to shout about it.
Oh, no, all right, Sue, but I think there is a need to explain about it.
No.
You see, Sue's got this piece of material.
Oh.
Well, actually, it's several pieces of material. They're all sort of knotted together. And she's had it since she was very, very small. And she takes it absolutely everywhere with her. And for some strange reason, and nobody knows quite why, she calls it her Squaffy.
Oh, well, thank you, Matthew, for embarrassing me in front of several million people.
Oh, sorry, Sue, sorry.
While Scampy being very cheeky and clever with his ways, but can easily get upset if Matthew is cross at him.
Is there? What? Just you wait. Oh, Scampy, you're crying. What's the matter? He was hiding?
Yes, now he's crying.
Well, I can see he's crying. What? I frightened him?
Yes.
Oh, Scampy, please. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to frighten you. I mean, look, it wasn't your fault.
Some of my favourite episodes that I think are the most memorable and entertaining are It Pays to Advertise, Sweep's Little Accidents, Camelot, Canal Capers, Dig This, A Pain in Spain, and Rocky 1. After the end of Sooty and Co, Gullane Entertainment acquired a 50% stake in the franchise in 1996 from Sooty International Limited to make new versions of the show. Gullane Entertainment was well known for owning franchises such as Captain Pugwash, Mumphy, Art Attack, Fireman Sam, and Thomas and Friends. A lot of recognisable names in this lineup. The first thing Gullane did with Sooty was a series called Sooty Heights. Sooty Heights was about Sooty and the gang owning a hotel with Richard Cadells and Liana Bridges in charge. The show lasted 2 seasons and ran for a year on CITV. The show ended on a Christmas episode of the gang doing a pantomime performance for the guests at the hotel. The show did well, but Gullane wanted to do something different. The year after, Gullane decided to revamp the show and just simply name it Sooty. This is where many people seem to call this era of Sooty the downfall of the franchise. It was still based in a hotel, but it looked more funky and very early 2000s. Sooty, Sweep, Sue and Scampy were still a part of it, as well as Richard too. However, someone was missing. That being Liana. On a radio broadcast in 2013, Liana revealed that production had moved from Manchester all the way down to Southampton, meaning a whole new production team were put on board for this new revamp, and not as many people were needed. As a result, she was dropped from the show via a phone call with the production team and was replaced with Vicky Lee Taylor, who stayed on throughout the entire run of this new revamped show. Some new things appeared in this show. For starters, we had a new theme song which has a rather catchy element to it. Butch the Bulldog came back after not being in the show for quite some time, and a new character was made, Mika the Cat, who was the hotel's head chef. More songs were also included as well to add to the runtime of episodes, and Brenda Longman was still the voice of Sue. Only for the first season anyway. When Gullane Entertainment got bought out by Hit Entertainment in 2002, Hit Entertainment wanted to reduce further costs and introduce new changes to the programme. The first big change was the puppets. Sooty, Sweep, Sue, Scrampy, Butch and Mika got a new look. But the use of new materials, however, resulted in them looking very much out of proportion and not alike to the iconic look that is loved and adored by so many. The second big change was Sue's voice. Ever since Matthew Corbett was the main host, Brenda Longman was the voice of Sue. However, when Hit Entertainment had the brand, she was replaced by Sheila Clark, who is a well-known puppeter within the UK industry. Not only was she the voice of Sue, but she also puppeted Sue too. Without that iconic voice though, the show was slowly losing the charm that it once had. Because of losing Brenda Longman, many of the production crew had left, and the show was eventually cancelled in 2004, as the viewing figures had heavily declined when all these new changes took effect. Richard Cadells stated in a 2012 interview with the Daily Mail that Hit had made the show bland and that he tried to persuade the producers to go back to the roots of the show, and that in the later series, they wanted to get rid of the humans altogether. After the failure of making Sooty a much bigger name, there wasn't much going on with the franchise. That wasn't until 2007, when Richard Cadells announced that he had bought the rights to Sooty from Hit Entertainment for £1 million, with his brother, with plans to revert back to how the previous presenters had done it, but include some of Harry Corbett's routines within episodes. And they even brought back Brenda Longman and Brian Sanford to continue being Sue and Sweet respectively. The first episode to come out was an hour-long special that was direct to DVD, called Sooty, The Big Day Out. The special was about Sooty, Sweep, Sue and Richard all going to the seaside, where they get up to all sorts of mischief, and end up winning a singing contest. Because of how well this was received, ITV agreed to make a new series of Sooty, and the rest, as they say, is history. To this day, the show is still as strong as ever, especially with Richard having the rights to Sooty and wanting to keep hold of the yellow bear for as long as he can, which I think is rather sweet. The franchise is still that strong that there is even a Sooty section in Creeley Theme Park called Sootyland, where you can go on themed rides, see the trio live, and even sleep in a Sooty-themed room. Overall, I think what we can take from this is that Sooty doesn't need to become part of a big corporation to be well known and successful. Having the show come back to its roots is the best thing for making the show still keep its charm and timelessness. I dread to think what would happen if Sooty was given to a bigger corporation like Disney as an example. I do genuinely think though that Sooty, whilst not being as big as other TV shows nowadays, like Bluey or Peppa Pig, it has something that makes it stand out. It's the fact that it's made within the mindset of a parent entertaining their kids and isn't made to be a major cash cow. It's made with love, and when it gets into the wrong hands, the people that care about it so much truly do defend the brand to keep its iconic legacy going. I just want to say thank you to the Sooty Wiki for being a great resource for this video. It's been very hard to find a lot of information for this, and this wiki has been so great for just helping me within this video to give you like all of that. So thank you so much for the Sooty Wiki. And I hope you enjoyed this little essay kind of video about something that not many people really talk about. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.